Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Stock Talk. This is a series I make whenever I feel it's necessary, where we cover some exciting news and price action in regard to some of the stocks we've been talking about on the channel. In today's case, we're focusing on some COVID-related biotech stocks, one of our favorite sectors around here, and we are doing a back-to-back on the Stock Talks. So I actually wasn't planning on recording this video today or covering this sector, considering we did see some red, as you can see over here on the right, or you'd obviously know if you are invested, and I honestly didn't think you guys would care to watch this. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I wanted to share my opinion on this pullback with you guys, because for Novavax specifically, this is almost the ideal buying scenario and like a great place to buy in my mind. So I will explain that. We're not going to go over any news today, which is pretty rare for a stock talk. We're just going to look at the charts, kick it off with Novavax, go down the line, Inovio, Moderna, Vaxart, and Sorrento. We'll take a quick look at the charts. I'm going to keep this brief. But again, I just wanted to talk to you guys about why I think that this Novavax specifically is proposing such a perfect buying opportunity. So before we do get into that, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you hold any of these stocks or if you do gain value from it, and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here and want to catch more content like this. All right, so Novavax, again, if you guys missed the video I posted specifically on Novavax a couple days ago, talking about their $1.6 billion Operation Warp Speed deal, please go watch that to understand the fundamental reasons behind this huge gap up in Novavax on Tuesday. I believe it was Tuesday. So yeah, Novavax on Tuesday, hopefully I'm right on that one, I'm pretty sure I am. On Tuesday, gapped up significantly, up over 30 to 40% on the day. It was bouncing in that region. Okay, so huge gap up on the day, huge price, like crazy price action, great day to have Novavax. And today, it surprised me because it did fall about, it closed the day down 6%, which did surprise me because a lot of times when you see price action like that following such great news, it is rare. It's rare to see it correct, but it makes sense considering how well Novavax has done over the past months. It's up, I don't even know the percentage it's up exactly, but of all these biotechs, it's up the most percentage-wise. So it's not crazy to see some people finally taking profits if they got in early. Some traders, some long-term traders, some long-term holders are probably like calling it quits, taking some profits, and I imagine they're taking a lot of profits. So it kind of makes sense that after that crazy price action, we do see a pullback. But the reason I think this is a perfect buying opportunity is because the news they released is so good. A $1.6 billion deal for a company the size of Novavax, which is at a $5.7 billion valuation after today, is so bullish in my mind. Like that deal alone is a fraction, is like a quarter of their entire market cap. Okay, so that's so significant in a market today where valuations and PE ratios are just so out of whack. For Novavax to secure that kind of deal, and obviously it's not all liquid, it's not all cash in hand, but just to have that kind of capital available to you from the U.S. government, so it's a very valid source of the capital, is so bullish. Again, Novavax compared to Moderna, which is at like a $20 to $25 billion valuation. Novavax is only a quarter of that. It's only a fraction of that, okay? So Novavax, in my mind, has a lot more growth to go. And again, I did go deeper in this on my video the other day. But, I mean, it would truly surprise me, and we will see tomorrow or today, whenever you may be watching this. So I could look like an absolute fool if that is the case. I will gladly accept that. But it would surprise me if Novavax does not see more green tomorrow, following, again, that great news. I think today was just some long-term holders exiting their positions, taking some profits, which I 100% respect. I personally took a little bit of profits off Novavax too. But, I mean, it would surprise me if, at the very most, the most bearish case in my mind is Novavax comes back down to the $90 region. So it would correct about another 8 to 10%. And if it does do that, which again, I don't think it will, I think it will continue to go up after today, I will significantly increase my Novavax position if it comes back down to $90, because that is the area where just previous highs around the end of June, it did set a few areas around $90. And yeah, I'd be super surprised, honestly, to see Novavax even come back down there. So if it does, I will significantly add onto my position, but we will see, again, today or tomorrow, whenever you're watching this, if Novavax does go up as I expect it to. Okay, so I'm overexposed. I'm going to go like this. There we go. Sorry about that. It does that sometimes. Go down to Inovio. So Inovio is actually posing another pretty solid buying opportunity right here. Okay, so we saw Inovio, again, crazy price action over the end of June, like over the course of the last week or so of June. And then we saw that crazy correction during the beginning of July, okay? So this is a huge, just huge, but pretty much a bubble pop right here. It went straight up and then pretty much came straight down. And again, it makes sense here. We'll go to the daily on Inovio. So it makes sense here as we zoom in a little bit that Inovio did come back down to this area. Okay, so it bounced right off around here. Actually, I would have expected it to come a little lower, and that is actually why I did miss the Inovio, like this trend a little bit. So Inovio, I did expect it to come and bounce off these two previous highs that it set back in April and May. So I was personally waiting. I could have played this better, and a lot of times it's good to think like that. You would expect people to expect it to bounce off this area. Okay, so some of the people who were early, they knew that was coming. They were one step ahead, which is a smart place to be, and I didn't play that correctly, but it did bounce off here. Inovio is still following, I believe, this lower trend line. So let's zoom out a little bit. Come here. So Inovio is still following this lowering trend line right here, I believe. Yeah. So as long as Inovio is under this line right here, under this line of resistance, I'm going to have to be bearish, although I am bullish from a fundamentals perspective on all these stocks, especially considering, again, Novavax signed that $1.6 billion deal. That is absolutely insane. That's crazy. And I think that there's so much potential for this stock. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'm permanently bullish on this entire sector until an effective vaccine is like 100% established. Okay, so I am bullish on this again, and there's going to be people expecting, like, if Novavax just saw that news, why wouldn't Operation Warp Speed, or why wouldn't the Trump administration just start throwing money at a lot of these companies? And that is something I feel is very possible and could very likely happen. So, I mean, imagine that happens with Novavax or Inovio. I'm sorry. We'll see a similar price action, that huge gap up, that 30-40% move, and on the stock itself. And then if you hold call options, it's a whole different story. You're like 2-3xing your money. Okay, so Inovio, as long as it is under this line, I'm bearish, but I would not be surprised at all if we do see it break out of this. And once it breaks out, it's onto the second wave. Okay, so good old two-wave theory. If you've tuned in before, you know what I'm talking about. But you get the first wave, you see a correction, you see some sideways price action, and then you see a second wave, you see that second breakout. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. Moderna is okay, so where? Oh boy, zoom out. Like, Moderna has just been going sideways. Let me refocus myself again. I'm getting overexposed. So I'm recording this at a different time of the day, so the sun's hitting me different. All right, so Moderna has been going sideways for so long, and I'm pretty surprised that we haven't seen a significant breakup or breakdown, to be honest. So it's been floating around this $50 to like $65 region, or what is that? Yeah, $55 to $65 region, which is fairly stagnant considering how crazy and how volatile it's been over the past few months. But oh man, so like Moderna is still in a weird place right now, just because Moderna is like the kingpin. It's the OG. Moderna walks, so a lot of these guys could run. It was the first mover. It has that first mover advantage within this biotech sector, and I feel like it's kind of like in the cryptocurrency space. You know, Bitcoin is a kingpin. If Bitcoin does well, a lot of the others do well. Same concept applies in my mind to Moderna, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Moderna. I'm probably the least bullish on Moderna, like as opposed to Novavax and Inovio, some of these other players. Actually, of all the ones we're going to cover today, I'm the least bullish on Moderna, but I'm not bearish either. So I'm pretty neutral on Moderna. I will keep an eye on it, and hopefully we do see some exciting price action in the near future. So let's move on to Vaxart. Vaxart is another good example of the two-wave. Okay, so I think I did talk about this in the last Stock Talk. Again, you see this huge parabolic move up, crazy news that Vaxart released into some deal. I think they were, I'm following so much of the news of these companies. I'm pretty sure they were also initiated to some extent into Operation Warp Speed. Please fact check me on that. But again, you see that initial move up, that hype bubble, that FOMO bubble, pop, capitulates, goes sideways, and again, I think that Vaxart is just shaping up to see another significant run up. So I am personally holding a pretty significant Vaxart position right now. It would surprise me if we don't see another move up to at least this previous high. But again, a lot of the times when you see that second wave, it'll surpass it by at least like 10 to 20% from the previous high. Okay, so I will keep an eye on that. Again, there's not much technically I'm looking at on Vaxart. I'm just going by by kind of instinct and trend recognition at this point. So yeah, very bullish on Vaxart right now. Same kind of applies for Sorrento. So again, we'll zoom out here. If you guys remember, so again, I think Vaxart could potentially play a similar trend to Sorrento. See the huge move up, bubble pops, goes sideways, capitulates, and then again, we're starting this beautiful uptrend in Sorrento right now. Like Sorrento is, I would be surprised at this point with how strong, with how nicely and with such strength that it's following this upward channel. I do definitely expect it to hit the top of this channel again and test this point, test this line of resistance here at some point in the coming days, maybe a week or two tops. But again, within the coming trading days, I definitely expect it to come back up to at least the $9 region, and I do expect Sorrento at some point to hit at least $10. Okay, to at least retest this. Actually, no, it's a high. We set way back. We can go back in time and look at that. So it did set a high back here, back in February of 2018. And again, this sector is ripping hot right now. So it would surprise me to not see, to not retest levels that it has in the past, because the issue at hand, I'm assuming, has to be significantly greater than what happened in 2018, because I don't remember what that was. Okay, so we'll call it there, you guys. I'm gonna stop rambling. I will keep you guys posted on my thoughts. Again, I did just want to get the point across that I think, like, when you see, especially following such great news, where'd it go? Let's go to Novavax again. So especially following such tangible, such good news, like Novavax release, like, it's obviously fantastic news. And to see a pullback like this, like, I would be very surprised if we do not see a green day tomorrow, like maybe a significant green day at that. Worst case scenario is it comes and bounces off the $90 mark. If that happens, I am throwing down the bag onto that position. But yeah, if not, then I think it's just straight to the moon for Novavax. Not to the moon, obviously. I don't want to get anyone's hopes too up. But again, I did say that if it cleared this $120 mark in the Novavax video, that I think it will definitely sail up to $150. And again, with how did I just forget with a $5.7 billion valuation, there's so much room for growth in Novavax. To get to $1 billion valuation, it would have to, I mean, $200 roughly, you know. So it would have to double to get to if it got to $200, it'd be a $10 billion valuation, still half the size of Moderna. It's good to put things in perspective that way in terms of market cap and valuation and whatnot. So very bullish on Novavax right now, very bullish on the sector as a whole. So I will keep you guys posted. Very exciting times. Again, sorry this one was a little shaky, but I just kind of decided to record it last minute. So again, please give the video a like if you did gain value from it, if you're excited about this sector as much as I am, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And as always, if you are, I appreciate you, truly do. So we'll call it there, guys. Also, if you do want to know exactly how I'm trading these stocks and will trade them in the future, please do check out my complete portfolio and daily newsletter. First link down below in the description. Exactly as it states, it is a complete breakdown of my entire portfolio: call options, put options, stock positions. Again, like I said, like I mentioned, call options. A lot of these positions I have are call options simply because they perform significant. Like Novavax, when Novavax went up 30%, 40%, my call options were up 150, 160, 170% on that day. Okay, so if you play them right, they are obviously higher risk. If you play them right, though, they can provide significantly greater returns, though. Okay, so check that out if you are interested at all. If not, no worries. So I'll catch you guys next time. All right, so keeping it on the sector. I will keep you guys posted, and until then, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.